What are some classic stereotypes of customers at your job that people outside your industry might not realize exist? I've been selling jewelry for 8 years at Morrison's Fine Jewelry, and the first thing they tell you in this business is that appearances mean absolutely nothing. The second thing they tell you is that little old ladies with perfectly coordinated jewelry are basically slot machines that pay out every time. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank showed up on a Tuesday afternoon looking like he'd been wrestling with concrete mixers all day. Work boots caked with mud, jeans with holes that weren't fashionable, flannel shirt that had seen better decades. He walks into our upscale jewelry store, and immediately every other salesperson finds something very important to do in the back room. I approach Frank because honestly, it was a slow day and I figured even if he was just browsing, everyone deserves to be treated like a human being. Can I help you find something? Frank looks around nervously like he's expecting someone to ask him to leave. Yeah, I need an engagement ring, something nice, real nice. I start showing him our mid-range stuff, thinking maybe he's got a decent budget saved up. Frank looks at everything politely but keeps asking, what else you got? 2 hours later, Frank walks out with a 2.5 carat diamond solitaire that costs more than most people's cars. Turns out he owns 3 construction companies and just closed a massive commercial contract. He paid cash, literal cash, had to count out $100 bills like he was buying groceries. Then there's the flip side. Beautiful woman walks in wearing designer everything, Louboutin heels, handbag that probably cost more than my monthly rent. She spends 45 minutes examining our most expensive pieces, asking detailed questions about cut and clarity, acting like she knows everything about diamonds. She leaves without buying anything, comes back the next day with the same routine. And the next day, turns out she's just lonely and likes the attention. Never bought so much as a $20 pair of earrings. But here's where it gets interesting. There's this one demographic that's basically a guaranteed sale and you can spot them from across the store. I call them the dragon ladies. These are women usually between 65 and 80, and they have a very specific look. They're wearing at least 4 pieces of jewelry that all coordinate perfectly. Matching earrings and necklace, a tennis bracelet, maybe a brooch that actually matches their outfit. Their hair is done, their makeup is perfect, and they move through the store with this focused intensity like they're hunting. Mrs. Eleanor Whitfield was my first dragon lady. She walked in wearing a full pearl set, necklace, earrings, bracelet, with a gold watch and a diamond brooch shaped like a butterfly. She made a beeline for our estate jewelry case and pressed her face against the glass like a kid at a candy store. That emerald bracelet, she said, pointing. I need to see that. I pulled it out and I swear her eyes dilated. She held it up to the light, turned it over in her hands, held it against her wrist. The whole time she's making these little appreciative humming sounds. I'll take it, she said, after maybe 30 seconds of examination. But here's the best part. As I'm writing up the sale, Mrs. Whitfield leans in conspiratorially. Now, you didn't sell this to me today. You sold it to me 3 months ago, understand? Harold thinks I spend too much on jewelry, but honestly, at my age, what else am I going to spend money on? Besides, I have so many pieces, he'll never notice one more. This became a pattern. Mrs. Whitfield would come in every few weeks, always perfectly coordinated, always ready to buy something substantial, and always with a story about when she actually bought it. Sometimes it was, I've had this for years, don't you remember? Sometimes it was, this was my mother's, I just had it reset. The dragon ladies all have their systems. Mrs. Patricia Dunley rotates her jewelry so methodically that her husband never sees the same pieces 2 weeks in a row, so anything new just blends in. Mrs. Rose Chen has a separate jewelry box hidden in her closet that she calls her rainy day collection. Mrs. Dorothy Kim tells her husband she's going to the grocery store, then swings by our shop to see what's new. They're all living these elaborate double lives, running covert jewelry operations right under their husbands' noses, and they're damn good at it. The thing is, these women genuinely love jewelry. It's not about showing off or keeping up with anyone. They light up when they see a particularly beautiful piece the same way art collectors get excited about paintings. They appreciate craftsmanship, they know quality when they see it, and they're willing to pay for it. My favorite dragon lady story is Mrs. Margaret Foster. She'd been coming in for 2 years, always buying something, always with the I've had this forever routine. One day she brings in her husband Harold to size his wedding ring. Harold's looking around the store while I'm working on his ring, and he spots Mrs. Foster admiring a sapphire necklace. Maggie, that's beautiful, he says. You should get that for yourself. Mrs. Foster looks at me with panic in her eyes, then back at Harold. Oh, I don't need anything new, dear. Harold turns to me. How much is that necklace? I tell him the price, and Harold pulls out his credit card. Early anniversary present, he says. Mrs. Foster spent the entire transaction trying not to laugh. Later she told me Harold had no idea she'd already bought more jewelry in 2 years than most people own in a lifetime. The man just wanted to buy his wife something pretty. Never judge a customer by their appearance. But if you see a little old lady in perfectly coordinated jewelry staring at your display cases like she's plotting a heist, go ahead and start writing up that sale. Trust me on this one.